Welcome, Hans, to Toys R Us.
Thank you very much.
These are new. These are cardboard cutouts of some of your favorite characters here, welcoming you as you come into the store.
Here's the G1 artwork for Bumblebee.
Yeah. These are some of the old school fun style things that they're reintroducing into Toys R Us in recent years. And this is the He-Man section that just blew me away. I've seen fully stocked He-Man sections, but this is an island unto itself. Castle Grayskull's all on the bottom there. Masterverse on the side. The Beasts in the middle. And I just thought this needs to be commemorated because it reminded me so much of those old vintage Toy Store pictures.
Oh, yeah.
I thought these days were over, but this just beautiful sight to see.
Oh, yes, indeed. It's to see a Castle Grayskull in a box, nonetheless, 5 of them. It's like, and there's probably one behind as well. So it's probably,
yeah. It's I use this expression when I look at some of these older pictures of the way things used to be. We were kings. I always say, but I look at this today, and I say we are kings for a day. We're kings for a day. Enough He-Man for everyone.
Yes, indeed, as it should be. It should be.
Not Fistos, not 1,000 Fistos, but nothing but He-Man, and with a new head, the updated head sculpt.
I just actually leaned forward to see if I could see behind it. What are you doing?
You're doing the little toy collector finger rifling through.
Yeah, digitally.
Got any Jitsus? Vehicles.
This brings back a lot of memories for me when I was a child, because they would always put the vehicles up at the top, and I was like 2 feet tall, and I could never reach them, so I only ever saw this low angle of these toys.
Did you ever get crushed by a vehicle you were trying to pull off a shelf?
Oh no, my mom would have been upset if I knocked anything down, so I used to ask for permission. Can you help?
I have a feeling Bob Hansen, who is arguably the funniest comic on the West Coast, probably got crushed by a land shark.
Oh gosh, yeah. He loves that vehicle an awful lot.
Well, he did, but we don't talk about that anymore.
Indeed.
Panthers, Netflix, He-Man. So wild to see Castle Grayskull there.
That's a place that I've never owned, but always wanted, that kind of thing. But every time I see it, I always felt that there was, people always they say, it was a whole plastic shell, but not to a child, not to my imagination. It was never a shell, A mer-man. Wow, one evil.
The sculpting on it is incredible, and the Origins one retains that. It might not be the same coloration and wash on it, but it's awesome.
You know what's funny? He-Man is one of the few brands that could do those little chibi He-Man figures, and I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it.
And another cardboard cutout, and then apart from that, there's a couple more.
This is my jam here.
Mega Constructs.
Oh, good grief. Oh, so I don't own many of these, but boy, oh boy, when they do pop up, I'm like, oh! So much excitement.
They're fantastic. They're just like Lego, except a little more affordable than Lego.
It's true. And I think it's a Canadian company. Isn't Mega Constructs Canadian?
Possibly.
I think they are.
But that is a fully stocked He-Man section at Toys R Us, and I'm glad you could join me for that little walkthrough.
I'm glad to be invited to see it. As I said, this is a lot of people take for granted the ability to walk into a toy store, any store dedicated to toys, and I'm telling you, it is as soon as I enter into a new country for however long, I've usually done my research and I target these places, Toys R Us, whatever mom and pop toy stores are around, any kind of vintage toys, I make sure to go. And it's a treat for me, and my kids get to see what I loved when I was young. And I think it's very special. Toy stores are a special place. And people carry too much bitterness about them nowadays, in my opinion.
Well, hopefully they'll be coming back, at least to the States, Wouldn't that be awesome if one opened in Trinidad and Tobago?
Oh, jeez. You know what's funny as you're scanning there? And it kind of reminds me of something when I was a child. I didn't even see the price tags, ever. I never saw them.
Well, they're in Canadian, so it's better to ignore them. Sometimes American viewers will watch my videos and gag on their beverage and go, "What? $25 for Clamp Champ?" But that's Canadian, so that's more like 13 cents American.
I went to it closed down ages ago, about a decade ago. It's called Santa's Workshop, and they had a lot of He-Man stuff there. I went in there when I was about 4 or 5 years old. My dad took me in there while my mother went to the bank, and I remember picking up a Horde She-Ra Trooper, and I can't remember what the other figure was, but I didn't know that you had to pay for them. And I walked out of the store with them. My father was like, "No!" And
they frown upon that.
They do. Hardly that's a felony.
Well, Hans, I hope your kids enjoy this. They, get to watch Dad go through a toy store and reminisce a little bit. And hopefully someday, whether it comes to you or you come to it, you're able to walk through a Toys R Us again.
Next year's Joe Fest. I'm taking the whole family.
Ooh, awesome.
Ooh.
Thanks for joining me. Do you want to plug anything, like a certain platform where you share your artwork?
Oh, of course. I mean, I'm on Instagram, Hans_Chow. You can come, you can join me there, shoot me a message, talk toys, or maybe even ask me to draw something. I don't really charge money. I just draw. I like it.
Yeah, your artwork is fantastic. Love the recent one you shared of, I'm looking at it right now and it's just melting my heart. Sergeant Slaughter with his little Slaughter daughter.
Yeah.
And Kelly actually saw that and left a comment on it. And that's a really, really beautiful piece.
I cannot explain how much speaking to her for those few minutes made my day. It was a real treat for me.
Thanks again, Hans. Thank you everyone else for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Namaste.
Take care.